Still a Nation, I'm back, I'm back, I'm back. Yo, this whole George Pickens situation is getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand, man. And I might be one of the few Pittsburgh Steelers fans or Pittsburgh Steelers supporters that is looking at this and saying, this is kind of getting blown out of proportion, right? You heard by now, you already know George Pickens been getting thrown in the fire by media personnel, fans, and everything. Almost a whole population of football fans, even people on other teams, just about his effort and whatnot, right? Now, me, I don't like him not showing effort on certain plays. I don't like that, right? But this is my thing, right? Him coming out of college is a reason why he wasn't a first round pick. He wasn't a first round pick. He wasn't a first round pick because of things like this, right? And then you got to think also, he was at Georgia. They known for winning, especially his time there. They're known for winning, right? Then he gets to Pittsburgh Steelers, and then it's like he's struggling these 2 years as far as like him being an impactful player for the team. So it's a lot of things that's going through his head, and he's still young. Yeah, he has to mature. I'm not making no excuses for him at all. He has to mature, right? But speed all this up, the Colts game was like the nail on the head, man. To kind of blow this whole thing up. George Pickens on a certain play where I seen it in like real time that he didn't block for Jaylen Warren, and that Jaylen Warren probably could have scored. I pointed that out on the podcast, so I can go do y'all little research on that. Scroll down and look at it. You know what I mean? But yeah. So he chose not to block, and his excuse was, his excuse was his excuse. It wasn't. He said he didn't want to get hurt and all that. It was like, come on, man. That's BS. That's BS. Because I don't think any football player thinks like that. They don't think like that. So I just think he gave a BS answer, man. And it caused a lot of uproar. Like right now, I'm gonna let y'all hear what the offensive coordinator Eddie Faulkner said about him.
My reaction is we have to go out there and execute every play to the highest level. Every player, that's the expectation. The second part of that would be how do you handle that as you address it? You present it to the group. You make sure that it's called out amongst the guys and they understand where your stance is, and then you move on from that.
You got to address it in front of the team, move on, But that wasn't enough because his voice wasn't loud enough, We also got to hear from George Pickens himself, and George Pickens came out and he said,
Remember at the end of last year, you said you worked hard to overcome whatever these preconceived notions were about you coming out. You feel you still have to do that? Are you still fighting that?
I just feel like the reason I would be, like you're saying, would be still fighting it because it's a lot of guys that's not playing the ball, not playing the game of football. That's just media guys having an opinion.
George, Mike Tomlin said he talked to you about controlling your frustration. Did what he had to say to you resonate with you?
What it was like 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks
Last
ago?
week, I think.
Nah, he ain't say nothing about my frustration.
He said he's had that conversation with you, though, right?
Nah, I ain't never. Last week we played the Colts. I ain't had no conversation with Coach T, but let's get better. Let's keep working.
It's your second year. I imagine you've grown a lot as a player. Do you feel like there's parts of your game that people might not recognize that you've grown in on your tape yet?
Yeah, for sure. Just the blocking thing for a matter. I remember all the media type guys who don't play ball was talking about blocking last year. Like, I'm such a good blocker. I'm such a good blocker. Now they want to, say differently. So I'll probably say just look at the routes this year. Look at the yardage. Look at the catch radius. Look at the run after catch. A lot of stuff.
Whew. He got to do better. He got to do better. He got to do better with this, man. He got to do better. That's all I got to say. George, you got to do better with this media stuff, man. Way better, right? And, it blew up to the point that Mike Tomlin had to go out his way to have a special press conference about George Pickens, man. And I don't even know what he said after that because this wasn't even like rebroadcast on the Steelers page or whatever. I might have to check on the Steelers site to see, but this is kind of like impromptu to my knowledge, I kind of found out afterwards that he did it. So this is what Coach Tomlin said.
Open them up here.
Great. Good afternoon. I wanted to address some George Pickens items that have been hot, I guess, in the last 24 hours. As I said at the top of the week, George is a talented guy, but he's growing in a lot of ways in regards to football and life. We don't run away from that. We run to that organizationally. When we draft guys, we're committed to being a component of their growth and development in all areas. As I mentioned earlier this week, it is very much a work in progress. And so it is continual. It's not going to be one incident or one meeting or one form of discipline that's going to institute the type of change that we're hunting, to be quite honest with you. It is going to be continual. He is aware of that. We meet on a routine basis. We met last Wednesday, he and I. We met again today. And so just wanted to be clear in some of those things. I would like him to be more professional in terms of addressing some of his shortcomings with you guys to further add fluidity to the process. He's not helping himself, he's not helping the process in the manner in which he's dealt with you guys. But the manner in which he deals with you guys is not necessarily the manner in which he deals with us or himself regarding acknowledging where he is and where he needs to go. And so I just wanted to say that. Largely, I like to keep his growth and development and the things regarding his growth and development private. To be quite honest with you, talking about it in this setting doesn't aid in the process or speed up the process. But rest assured, there's a commitment here not only from us, but from him in terms of growing as a man and a player. And so I just wanted to open it up from that perspective. I'll answer any questions that you might have.
Now, I see all this. I see what the coach said. I see what George Pickens said. I see what Coach T said, right? Now, I think that at the end of this year, the Steelers going to have a decision to make. How bad do you want this offense to improve? Yeah, we need to get a new OC, a new whole playbook and everything like that, but you also need guys that's willing to die on the field. And you know what? Maybe I shouldn't have said that because the whole Damar Hamlin situation. But you got to guys that's willing to lay it all out on the field, you know? And just seeing that effort and seeing that response from him, it's not good, man. And but I don't think it's fully affecting the locker room. You know, I don't even think it's affecting that practice because, you know, we only get what they tell us, right? Sometimes you see certain clips in practice where you're like, oh, that kind of don't sound like what we saw or whatnot, right? But yeah, man. But all I know is today at Steelers practice, Coach Tomlin was over there with the wide receivers. He was talking to George Pickens, man. So I'm going to leave y'all on that. I'm going to leave that video up. I'm let y'all see that, and then it's your man, Kev Easy. I'm going to see y'all on the next one, man. Steelers for 7 podcast out right now. Previous episode dropped a couple days ago. It's still fire. Still watch it. It's on this channel. And if you at work and you trying to save your battery, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast at, it's right there, man. Big VSN, Steelers for 7 podcast, man. I'm back. I'm out. See y'all in the next one. Thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button, and don't forget to follow the podcast on all streaming platforms.